It's the JaeTae Show. It's the JaeTae Show. It's the JaeTae Show. It's the JaeTae Show.
Season's greetings. God bless you to each of you. Welcome to the JaeTae Show. All right, we have a very interesting show planned for you today. Some things that we have witnessed in the past few days, but of course, we want to start as we have been starting for probably a few episodes now, which is with JBM Keys fundraiser. We are still at 30 out of 88 keys, which means we have 58 keys still available. It has been holding for quite some time. We are at one registrant for the conference. And so, these are the two things that are going on right now. The JBM Keys fundraiser will go on until all 88 keys are taken. So the question is, do you have a key? Have you sponsored a key? One of the things that I loved about one of the ladies who sold and sponsored a key was, she said, supporting a dream, something to that effect, and that really got my attention to the point that I screenshotted, put it into I guess a meme or whatever you want to call it, with the JBM Keys fundraiser, just because it just really plucked my heart the way she said that. And I should have brought my phone so that since I'm mentioning it, I could actually pull it up to read verbatim what she said. But it was basically supporting a dream, and so that meant so much. JaeTae, any thoughts about the JBM Keys fundraiser?
I think it was last week that I said it, but pretty sure 58 people. So if each of us will purchase another key or encourage someone to purchase a key, then this fundraiser can be done before the month is over.
What we do realize when we look at the numbers for the JaeTae Show as well as the J Bass Today Show, we get very minimal views, and so possibly the announcements are not going out to as many of you as we would like. But those of you who do see these, truly pray that you will become one of the Keys sponsor. And then also our next event or venture or whatever you want to call it, really a kingdom assignment, is the Shatter the Cost of a Yes conference. This has turned out to be much more than we originally thought. God has just kind of been adding on and showing us, opening our eyes to more that we weren't initially, that we didn't initially have insight for. And so there's so many. That's why it's really almost scary in a way that more people have not registered, because we see the brokenness. We see those who are struggling. And just knowing our keynote speaker alone, we know that the impact of this conference will be great. But I'm telling you, our panel with pastors and ministers is absolutely going to be amazing. I will be moderating the conversation, and so we'll be flowing. If you attend, you will have opportunities to ask questions, to provide your own insight, and so forth. And so, we just truly want to make you aware that August 17th at the Thrive Church, located at 14 Broadhurst, we will be at 10 a.m. We'll be hosting the Shatter the Cost of a Yes conference. And we're looking forward to the encouragement, the impartation, and the fact that I wholeheartedly believe not one person who enters that room, whether it's virtual or in person will leave the same way you came. The testimonies, the transparency, the authenticity, again, from the panelists and our keynote speaker, it just has no choice, especially just having the conversations that I've had thus far with our panelists and our keynote speaker. I am so encouraged. I am so encouraged and looking forward to this, because not only will we be pouring out to you, but each one of us is going to need the strength and the sharpening of the iron ourselves. And so we pray again that not one person, including the panelist and keynote speaker, as well as us, the hosts, that none of us will leave the same way we came, but will leave ready and prepared spiritually for the next leg of the journey. You know, we look so much at what's going on carnally, but there are some things going on in the spirit realm that I just truly believe God wants to make us aware of. And so as we fast and we pray leading up to the day, truly pray that you will get in and be a part. JaeTae, you want to tell them the registration and share your thoughts about the conference?
Let me pull up the registration, because I always seem to mess it up. I know it's
That's okay.
$40
Okay, I was going to say, I got your back.
VIP,
Which ends August 10th.
and then $20 for regular registration. Yeah, that's registration. Cash App, J Bass Ministries. Is that wrong?
$
J Bass Ministries. And then Zelle 409-996-8791. That's your ways that you can give. And then virtual is $10.
Okay.
Same way, Cash App or Zelle. I think I keep saying it.
Hold on, JaeTae, I'm sorry. Just make sure you notate in your memo what it is for. So, because we do have the other fundraiser going on, and we want to make sure that we are putting the funds in the proper place. Okay, what do you keep saying?
That I think that people are kind of just waiting to the last minute to register, which is fine as long as you come.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that this conference will be non-beneficial to you, because life happens, life be life, and like people be saying, things happen, and I know that you have felt shattered or broken or a certain type of way as a direct of saying yes and still being in church. So come, be encouraged, even if you're not shattered in this moment. I can pretty much guarantee it's going to come back. I always hear either you in a storm, you come out of the storm, or you get ready to go back in the storm, or you just come out of the storm. So come, be blessed, be encouraged, and join us.
And one thing that Tay did bring up, which shifted even my thoughts, again, one of those things that shifted along the journey, because God really put it on my heart and impression in my heart that this conference is so needed among leaders in the church, that there are so many leaders who are serving broken and shattered, who have lost their passion and their drive, but they're still serving. But then she brought in the component that you have so many who are, they have the kingdom gifts and talents, and they are beneficial to the kingdom. But something happened, and now they are church hurt or whatever is going on, and they are not serving in the church anymore. And we know that the church is a community of believers, once again, that where iron sharpens iron, that we need that rubbing up against one another. Sometimes it's not easy. Somebody will say something, somebody will do something. JaeTae and I were just having this conversation about some things we've experienced, more so she's experienced, but just things that you go through serving in the background of the church. And there are a lot of things that you won't know that go on in the church until you start being elevated and recognizing this happens. And you've got to be able to have the strength and the fortitude to be able to keep moving and let God use you how he wants to use you. And no, it's not easy, but we know that more than just serving in the church, what this is about is the kingdom. Jesus preached so much and taught so much about the kingdom, and we are kingdom citizens. And so knowing that we have a responsibility. When I think about us being able to go into prison ministry and the fact that it just seems like it has been blocked and been blocked and been blocked. And for me, for months, I'm so looking forward to getting back in. We've been recertified and do want to invite you, if you would like to become a true laborer of Christ and go in with us, please by all means contact us. The same phone number that she used for Zelle, 409-996-8791. You can contact me, and that way we can put you down as a true laborer of Christ, and then I can get you over to JaeTae, who will get you over, or to Mama Lily, whoever, so that we can get you certified and ready to go in and to minister. It is just, if you've never been, it is truly a whole different experience, a whole different encounter. And so, you know,
I always say every time I go to the prison and leave, I prefer prison ministry more than church. Which is crazy, you know, but it's just a difference until you've gone in there and seen the worship and how real it is. And you know what I'm saying, it's a big difference than putting on a 3-piece suit and you know what I'm saying, the dresses that you have to wear to church, and you know what I'm saying, it's not like that in there. So,
and there's a different hunger, there's a different expectation. And so truly we would love for you to join us. I just truly believe that this next season of ministry and life is going to be so vital for the coming years. And so we want to be ready. We want to be strengthened and fortified with the tools. We don't want to leave. We're going to provide notepads and pens so that you can write down any questions you may have and any notes that you receive, whether it be tools or what have you, that can help you in those times where you may struggle and need to be able to pull up something and remember something that you received at the conference to keep you going. Because sometimes you'll think, now, how did he say that? And then you'll be able to go back to your notepad and say, that's what he said. And that's why I remembered it as much as I did to come back to the notepad to look at it. And so we're looking forward to it. You know, the struggle leading up to this has been real. The last time we did the JaeTae show, it was prior to Tae's birthday, and she had a rough birthday. And that day started my physical roughness, which had basically continued to be added on to where I was under mental and physical stress and attack on Friday. And that's part of what we're going to get into as our topic of discussion. And I'll use this as a leeway in. Both of us had therapy sessions on Friday, and my therapist uncovered something that I didn't realize was a revolving around the mountain for me. Knowing the title of my first book, and really knowing how valid the title is, even now for my life, it's not easy to endure. And I have the outline of what my next book will be, because in spite of the first title, I'm still moving forward. I'm still pursuing dreams and goals, whether anyone is supporting or not. But the hard part is being a minister of music, serving in so many capacities of church and ministry. And then when you host a conference or put on an event or you do the fundraisers and things, the lack of support, it's like, it's hard. It is a challenge to witness that, especially as Tay said earlier, it's no reason why the JBM Keys fundraiser is not finished. I know way more. I have met way more than 88 people. And what is funny to me or interesting to me is the person who has purchased the most keys, I have never met in person. But we met online and we started, just meeting and having real brotherly conversation. Somehow he was just taken to me. And that, when you are used to being overlooked and people not recognizing you, and someone does, you begin to say, okay, who is this? What is going on? And not only did he say what he said when we spoke, which was actually on a live call of brothers who were on to encourage each other, we followed up with one another and end up exchanging numbers, Marco Polo. So we remain in contact pretty much every day. And he watches the JaeTae show. He has learned the jingle for the J Bass Today show. And he has sown hundreds of dollars in the JBM Keys fundraiser. And that just speaks volumes, the number of people who actually experience your music ministry, your anointing, your gift at work, and they don't see it worth supporting, especially when you're saying, this is your life's dream, this is what helped keep you alive, and you're dealing with sickness right now, and the truth is God could take you out at any moment. And so I'm grateful that he is preserving me. But what I also realize is that he must be going to keep me, because he's not allowing the community just fully step up, but he also has not allowed me to become a millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire just yet. And so the idea has been to reach out to the community for as much help and support as possible. And so when you reach out and you've served and you've been planted in an area and you've been of service in many areas and the response is minimal, that is a huge trial, or whatever you want to call it, to overcome. I thank God that I can say we're overcomers because we move forward in spite of. And what kind of bothered me about the therapy session is when the therapist illuminated to me that I've been going around and around this same mountain with my concerns with people. I instantly said, okay, you know what? I am so glad you pointed this out to me. And that is why I needed this therapy session today, because now I need my therapist to give me the tools that I need to be able to cross my Jordan and stop circling this mountain. And the hard part to deal with, and I do plan on reaching back out, was that there was deflection. The conversation was switched, and we hung up without me having the tools to deal with this. And so, I'm going to stop there because we're watching a show that we want to bring up. But JaeTae, when you hear the things that I've just shared, what's on your heart and your mind?
It kind of puts me in a bad position.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I've said this more than once, and it just annoys me because you have somebody that's like right at your fingertips, and you can get to them, you can reach them, they're available, and get calls for these funerals and these this and that, and half those people names are probably not even on the JBM keys, have not bought a spaghetti dinner, have not participated in the lottery, have not participated in anything that you have done. So it's like, darn if you do, darn if you don't. But then yet God still gives you these dreams and goals and the music and stuff. So it's like, how do you expect for this to happen if these people are not supporting? Because like you said,
you're not giving me the money.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just annoying. And I always say Jay have this leader heart that I don't really have. You know, I just kind of say the heck with people. But he's not like that. You know what I'm saying? He still just embraces, and no matter if they support or they don't support. And I think, I don't know, did you actually get locked out of Facebook for spamming?
Yeah.
For sending messages out to so many people. That means, check this out. Only way that you can get spammed if you have sent the same message to over 100 people. So that means that you know way over 88 people. And you said there's how many keys left now?
58.
58. So if you send it over to 100 people, you've been spammed for sending it over. So that means you know more than 58 people. So this should be done. It should be. And to hear that somebody that you've never even met, and you see people every day and embrace them and give them a hug and a smile and play their favorite chord, sing their favorite song, show up to their event, it's just like, what's the point? But there's a point. And Jay, he has adapted this serenity prayer, and now I have had to adapt the serenity prayer. Because there are just certain things that you just cannot change. No matter how much you want to, how much you have a desire to, how much you think that you possibly could, but you really cannot.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait. You know, part of it has not been easy to just keep pursuing in light of these level of disappointments. But at the same time, there are other things that happen that in essence assure you that you're on the right path. You know, I may not be at quote unquote 100% health, but God has given me a modicum of health to be able to keep going. Some days it's hard just to walk and move forward, but I'm still walking, I'm still moving forward. Sometimes I'm so drained, especially in the heat, and trying to walk and move forward, but he still gives me strength to keep going. And so it's like, as long as you keep giving me strength to keep going, I have to keep going. And then to move here and to be planted here, and to be recognized by 2 community groups here, that speaks volumes. That for them to see something enough to recognize me, I thought that was so special, because when you feel overlooked and feel like what you're doing is so insignificant, for God to send those reminders, even when he did, it really has literally just said, you're on the right path. You cannot allow the distractions of who's not doing, who's not supporting, to keep you from keeping your focus and your trust in me. And so that's really what we have to do. And so JaeTae, we've been watching shows on Hulu, and some reason she started watching Little Fires Everywhere. And I had heard of it before, but I wasn't feeling good this week, and she had it going because that's what she was watching. And I just got caught up because you could tell something was going on in this one woman's life that we're really at this point, going into episode 3, wondering what happened to her. What has she been through to have moved around so much and obviously changed names multiple times. What has happened with her? And just the thought of moving around so much, that speaks volumes to my own life. I have moved around in my 20s and 30s so much. I told the members at the church I'm currently serving at that this is the longest tenure I've had at a church ever. Ever. The total number of years, but even consistent years, from the last time I left to and returned to now, that is the longest tenure that I've ever served at a church. And if I'm not mistaken, I'd never been there for a church lunch like I was for this one. And so I know that God is up to something, and to see this movie, this show, and just think about the things of our past, that as much as you try to escape them and move forward with your life, you know, people will say, and the church says, there's even a song that says, leave the past behind, celebrate a new beginning, leave the past behind. However, that is a huge challenge when the past keeps hitting you in the face, when things about the past keep coming up in a way that just reminds you, even though you are moving forward, that is still part of your life story, whether you want it to be or not. You know, I was sitting in dialysis, and my chills have been extensive. They were extensive after choir rehearsal on Thursday. We went to Cheesecake Factory, could not even enjoy dinner. And I felt so bad because I was trying to pressure JaeTae on her birthday to do something. And so then when we get there, and I'm for the first time ever, literally in tears, because I'm thinking, I hate this, that I can't even sit here and treat her to after birthday dinner appropriately. And this just makes it seem like, okay, that's why I didn't just want to go with you on my birthday, because this is the potential of something that could happen. You know, that the things that the enemy plays in our mind. And then so to get to dialysis the next day, and it's cold in there, and I'm under basically 3 layers of comforters. And as long as I'm awake, I'm shivering. I mean, cannot get control. I feel the heat of the blankets, but it is not warming my body up. And the nurse came over and said something to me that just, it was like, it's a reminder. It's part of your past, it's part of your history, that the medical professionals are going to always bring up as a possibility of what's wrong with you. And when you deal with those things, as much as you are mentally and spiritually leaving the past behind, you see commercials, you hear conversation that remind you that what they're talking about includes you. And so then you have to face the reality that that is, again, part of your life and part of your history, and learn and continually learn over and over how to hear it and keep moving. Learn how to learn how not to allow it to impede your progress, your productivity, because that's really what it boils down to. I try to smile on these episodes because I have a reason to smile. Just being here and knowing where the Lord has brought me from, being in such a low place for so long, and God bringing me up to actually recognize that I was up, was such a blessing. And so to experience this week of sickness and then to be, I mean, basically inundated by the enemy of attack on yesterday or on Friday, it for me, it let me know that something amazing is on the way, because the enemy would not have sent that level of attack, because a lot of times it's not the fact that something has happened, but it's when multiple things are popping loose, being said, being done, all in the same day, and you like, God, okay. Even now, as I said that, I instantly thought about Job. Just thinking about the level of things he went through in one day. And I'm thinking, what does what I went through mentally and spiritually and was going through physically compare to that? But when you're going through any level of attack and it's hitting you back to back, any level of attack and it's hitting you back to back, it's not easy. It's not easy. And so again, today I can thank God for victory because I survived it again. And to be honest, I can't, I guess, and I'm surmising that God didn't allow the therapist to give me a tool, because he said, I'm gonna bring you out again as I have brought you through before. And to be able to pray on Friday, and to be able to seek him and to praise and to worship him through that, it really made a difference. To be able to shift my focus and my perspective to the only one who really could do anything, because I couldn't get aid from where I thought the aid was going to come from. And look what God has done today. Still not feeling well physically, but spiritually, mentally, I'm a whole lot better. Okay, Tay, when you think about little fires everywhere and a lot of the stuff that I've said, all right.
When I first got on to Little Fires Everywhere, I think I started it like a year ago.
Oh.
And then I didn't even get past the first 20 minutes of the but then I started again. I thought about, we have no idea yet what she's gone through, what she has been through, and what her child has been through, because we're just barely on episode 2, but I think they're pretty long episodes. So only thing we can see is that there is clearly something going on. And there's one person that has gravitated to her that's possibly going to help her. We're assuming she's already helped to get into a house. And it made me think about, this is kind of not what I was about to say, but it just popped in my mind. You never know what a person is going through, truly, because Jay didn't see this at the beginning, but I saw it. At the very beginning of the episode 1, this lady called the police on her. She was in her car sleeping, and she reported that it was a car in a parking lot with a whole bunch of clothes and stuff on top, and it clearly that somebody was in there sleeping. And
that's why.
Yes.
Okay.
And well, no. And then the police went and escorted her out the parking lot. Well, that same day they had a house tour to where they live at now. And when the lady walked outside, she had already told her that she couldn't afford the apartment and they were leaving. When she walked outside and realized that was the same car that she had called the police on earlier, she went ahead and approved it for that apartment. So that's how she got in the apartment. And it made me think about, that lady had been through so much just that day. And God sent that one person to help her. And, Jay thought it was going to be the therapist in that moment, but it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? The lady thought it was going to be somebody else in that moment. The police is going to come and help her, but they didn't. They escorted her out. And I thought about, we always hear, God will never put more on you than you can bear. But I didn't realize it wasn't in the Bible until I looked for myself. And then I kept hearing it's not in the Bible. But God really will put more on you than he can bear, than you can bear, because if you give it over to him, then he can bear it for you. And I thought about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego when they were in the fiery furnace. The fire, was turned up 7 times hotter, but God was right there with them. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what you're feeling, the sickness, the spiritual warfare, what I'm saying? The fire got hot, but God was right there with us. He never left us and brought us out.
And the fact they were able to endure was because God was with them. Yeah. But I was saying that it makes sense why she was trying to do so much for her when I actually started watching. I was offering this and offering that because she did feel convicted of what she had already done. I think I said something to that effect. What had she done to her that now all of a sudden she feels this need to be of a help as much as she can. And sometimes it really is sad, but sometimes that's what it takes for a person to see you, to have an encounter that is so thoughtless, so careless. Because if you see this car with clothes, apparently this is a person who is living out of their car. And where else are they going to park? And you call the police? So yeah, and she has been doing what she can to try to make it up ever since. But as we're going along, the other lady is yet basically putting out little fires everywhere that this lady is dredging up. That she's dredging up, trying to figure out who she is, where she came from, because now she's working on her house. She wants the background check. She's checking reference and all of this previous rental history and all this. And so it has been a journey, and we're definitely going to continue and probably talk to you more about it. But also here on the JaeTae Show, we have not selected our next book. We're still in prayer and searching for what will be next. It seemed as if we went through crushing just for us, but we're going to continue to share the journey of whatever book it is that God puts on our heart to read and study, because again, what we know is with the World Wide Web, somebody might access this at a later time and actually be blessed. And so God bless you all. I pray that you've been blessed and encouraged by something that has been said on today's show. JaeTae, any final closing words?
Thank you so much for joining us.
All right. God bless.
It's the JaeTae Show.